264 all out. 3 balls to go, 49.3 with Steve Smith and Alex Carey both hitting brilliant 50s, by the way.
Now, I want to know whose prediction has, come pretty much close.
Mine.
I think you said 260, na? 255.
Yeah,
255, I guess.
255.
I said 245.
Yeah, I said 240. I said 240.
But then, when I talked about having a match-winning score, that comes pretty close to it. 270, I said.
Still, I don't
I said
think...
match winning 250.
See, I still don't think it is a match-winning score. I still don't think so, because this pitch is all set to confound every trend, every stat that is there at this point in time. So, in that way, when you look at it, it is going to be a very tricky chase. I don't know what's going to happen, honestly, because 265, correct me if I'm wrong, Gulati, 2011 quarterfinal, what was the target that India chased?
About
261, right?
Yeah, we'll
at this
check.
point.
We'll check.
Yeah, okay. So, I think it is a 50-50 kind of a score. You're not totally in it, but you're not totally out of it.
Yeah.
By the way, the highest successful chase in the history of the Dubai International Cricket Stadium,
Yeah,
261.
260, yeah. Pretty much.
highest successful chase is 285 at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium.
So
that,
India
but that
will-
was 7-8 years ago.
India will pretty much have to feature in the top 5 or top 10.
It'll be the top,
In the
top
list of
3.
successful run chases, potential successful run chases.
Yep, in Dubai at this point in time. So, it's going to be very, very interesting as to how this chase goes on. I have not that many doubts. I'm still cautiously optimistic that India could chase it down.
What's your, we can take the prediction now of yours. What do you
It's
think?
still India's game to lose.
Still India's game to lose.
Still India's game to lose.
How much in favor of India?
60-40.
Now it
60-40.
is 60-40 for you.
Because
In favor of India.
in favor of India, because Australia's inexperience might come to the fore today. There is a Tanveer Sangha who's played, but his sample size is very limited. You look
Cooper
at
Conley.
No, Cooper Conley again very inexperienced.
Yeah, inexperience, yeah.
Only Zampa. Who are the others? Advartius, Ellis has got experience. There is Maxwell, there is Head, but I don't think they might have that kind of an impact here. And looking at it, the pitch, if you stay in, if you get your eye in, you could actually play a very big knock. That's what Steve Smith did. That's what Alex Carey did.
Alex Carey looked class apart today. He even,
Class.
I think I'm probably.
You can carry on,
I'm going to be bashed for this basically. I feel that Alex Carey batted better than a certain Steve Smith here. I think no less in comparison to what Steve Smith, because of the way he went about his shots, those slog sweeps, even for that matter, the way he used his footwork. Alex Carey, I think that turned out to be a pretty much game changer for Australia, and that's why it's one of the major reasons why I wanted Alex Carey to open for Australia in this kind of a match. You have obviously seen Alex Carey open for Australia earlier in the ODI format. That was way back in 2019 when they did not have the likes of David Warner, Steve Smith due to
World Cup.
the Sandpapergate scandal. But I think the technique that he possesses, he could have been a potential opener for Australia in this match. And I think that's something that we have seen of him. And overall, if we talk about Glenn Maxwell, I think that once again, he's showed that he's highly inconsistent when it comes to those big matches. Yes, you can keep that Afghanistan match apart out of this discussion, but overall, it didn't really turn out to be a great match. But then, at one stage, I'm not going to lie here, I did fear this thing a bit, that India might have actually conceded an even bigger total. Because of the way Alex Carey and Steve Smith were going, it did look like that Australia could have probably, gotten close to 280 or 290. But then, if we talk about the Indian bowlers, one thing that I think the Australian batting did right when it comes to facing Varun Chakravarti, I think they used their feet very well. Even Josh Inglis, in the limited stay that he had on the crease, he looked a little assured before one of the deliveries literally, held onto the pitch, and he just, chipped it to a fielder, I think, at short cover. But overall, I think this has been some great application shown by the Australian team. We were actually talking about the nervousness that India would have probably had ahead of the game against New Zealand. But then, it did not really turn out to be the case, because you had, pretty much the likes of Shreyas Iyer and the bowlers also doing the job in tandem, and then Varun Chakravarti later running through the New Zealand middle order. I think this Australian team has proven to be even tougher for India with the application that they have shown against the top class Indian spinners.
This, I think there is no doubt about that. The Australian batters came in with a plan for the spinners, and I think they executed it pretty well. Gulati sir mentioned Alex Carey and Steve Smith, how well they countered spin, but I think even Travis Head to begin with was playing spinners really well. But by now, I'd see again, I don't know if this is going to be a winning total for Australia, because if the conditions were supposed to be the way we were thinking, then I think we would have easily kept Australia as the favourites going into the India stays. But why we are still giving India a little bit of upper hand over here is because the pitch hasn't played the way it actually we were expecting it to play, because that wasn't going to be the case. That's why also this odd balls did spin, odd balls did did stop a bit, but again batting wasn't that difficult. And also I feel as far as bowling was concerned, the Indian bowlers were bowling a little overpitched or too short at times, and that was because the Australian batters had the advantage of using their feet. Also, maybe you did not read the conditions to the fullest. Maybe you could have had another fast bowler, because by the end you did require the help of fast bowlers to get those breakthroughs when you weren't getting wickets in the middle overs. You did get in a Mohammad Shami to break that partnership. All in all, I think total it's I think now I'm going to be giving, I think the prediction for me stays the same where it was at the beginning, 51-49, still in favor of India, just because how deep India bats and what the Australian bowlers, how much experience they have. But India will really have to bat well. I don't think it's going to everybody will have to contribute.
So we have Harbhajan Singh joining us live, and it'll be very interesting to see, because this is the kind of wicket that Harbhajan had. I mean, when he used to play in the 90s and all, these kind of sluggish wickets would be his bread and butter.
Yeah.
So there was a line on commentary that maybe Australia needed 280 on this wicket. And I asked the same question to Harbhajan, and I'm joined by Bhajipa. Bhajipa, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Today. The question that I have for you is that, is Australia's score under par on this Dubai wicket, which is looking very sluggish?
I believe India have a great chance to chase down these runs. Australia at one stage, they were looking like to get about 280, 290, but Shami got them back in the game. Then Akshar got Maxwell. Afterward, obviously they didn't get going, and they didn't get too many runs on the board. So now India have to make sure they bat well in the first 10 over or so, and they have to be little cautious against Zampa as well. So I think these are gettable runs, and Team India looks in a good shape. They have scored runs, Kohli in form, Shubman Gill in form. So, I'm hoping that this will be chased down.
Yeah, I actually agree with this fact. Even we were also going to touch upon this, that the Australian batters did look to go on and score an even bigger total. And that's why what I also want to ask, that we have seen the Dubai wicket has deteriorated in the second innings. And so that's why, do you think those, Bhajupa, those 20 runs that would have been those extra 20 runs as far as a winning total would have concerned, maybe that would be nullified, keeping in mind that if the pitch will deteriorate or not, and how tricky will this chase be for the Indian team?
Well, we have spoken about this pitch as the game progresses on such pitches. These pitches are actually getting slower and slower. But later on in the inning, I don't think it's going to change much. It's going to play the same way what we have seen it played again when Australians were batting. But on such pitches, I think India have a better chance to win, because they don't have quality spin bowling like Indian spin bowling. So I believe India have a great chance to chase these runs.
Okay. Okay, so Shivam, my producer, informs that, we'll probably have to let go of Bhajupa in a while. But one last question, before we get to it. I think we saw in the game against Bangladesh, almost the batters, they really chipped in, especially Shubman Gill. In the game against Pakistan, Kohli scored 100. And even in the game against New Zealand was Shreyas Iyer, who bailed India out of those tough situations. Now, Harbhajan, who do you think that could be the Indian batter who will hold the key to their chances in this run chase?
Well, I think someone from the top need to get a big 100, either Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. If one gets 100 out of these three, India will be sorted. And I'm backing Shubman Gill out of these three to bat through the inning, and of course everyone needs to chip in with small little bit performances with their bat here and there, and it's not that big a total, but we have to be sure in first 10 overs that India don't lose too many wickets. If you lose too many wickets up front, so any team kind of comes in pressure. So India needs to avoid that, make sure that they play well against the new ball.
Okay. I think, yeah, that's about it. Thank you, Harbhajan, joining us for this discussion. I think moving on, maybe, we can talk about one of the factors that I think I just mentioned a few minutes back. And I think it's about negating the impact of Varun Chakravarti. See, remember what he basically did in the game against New Zealand. He was almost unplayable with that 5-wicket haul. Today, he took a couple of wickets. But then if you talk about the batting that a certain Steve Smith and Alex Carey did against them, I think that was some exemplary footwork. So was it really the case of, and I'm going to ask this question to both of you, that was it really the case of them, preparing hard for someone like a Varun Chakravarti or Kuldeep Yadav, or was it really the natural skill that, these two Australian batters possess when it comes to facing spin?
I think for me, see, the difference maker was Carey.
Yeah.
He was the one who was going about in a very busy manner. Use the sweep. When the ball was in the slot, he would tonk it over deep mid wicket. Okay. He tackled Chakravarti well. He tackled all the spinners well. It needed a run out to ensure that, yes, he looked assured. Yes, the ball is stopping on the deck. There is spin. It is coming on very sluggishly onto the wicket. But Carey was the guy who negotiated very well. Even Smith was struggling for timing. Some of his lofted shots didn't go to the fence. So that is why the slow nature of this wicket means he's not getting the timing right at this point in time. So, for me, the difference maker was Alex Carey. Smith, we know, he's a class act. He's got the clutch mentality in a big, big way. And that is why he came in when Cooper Connolly had fallen. Then Travis Head yet again set it up with a good impact. Yes, he was dismissed first ball by Varun Chakravarti when he came.
Still a good 40 odd.
Still a good 40 odd. I mean, let's not mistake the fact, Travis Head didn't get 100. We'll celebrate in that
It's
way.
just that his impact was negated.
No, I think the tempo of the Australian team as far as run scoring was concerned never dropped. Otherwise, even like Bangladesh and Pakistan, they could have sort of gone in that shell, and then they would not have been able to exploit those middle overs like they did right now. That did end up in a way that their all wickets fell, but their tempo never actually stopped, and that's also a reason why they managed to get to this total. And the odd ball is definitely stopping, and I have no doubts in this, that because everyone at the beginning did say that it's a very dry pitch.
Yeah.
To begin with, maybe there was a little moisture, or maybe the wicket was still fresh. That's why the ball wasn't stopping that much, and there was help for the batters as compared to the previous games. But moving ahead, because it's dry from beneath, you'll see that the ball will stop even more, turn even more, grip even more in the second innings. And more than Tanveer Sangha or
Adam Zampa.
or not Adam Zampa or Conan Mill, I feel it's going to be Nathan Ellis who's going to be the key bowler for Australia from here, because he
Cutter.
Exactly, and he is that bowler who uses the variations. He can really make it very difficult for Indian batters to score runs of him.
I mean, I do agree. I mean, when Hardik Pandya was bowling those cutters towards the fag end, it was getting difficult to bat in that. So, Ellis is the guy who can use the cutters really, really well. Dwarcius, maybe with the new ball, he'll get it to nibble around a bit like what Shami did. So, for me, that partnership, when you look at it, about 55, if I'm not mistaken, 53 run partnership that Carey and Smith had they carried on, had Smith
54,
not missed a full toss, can you believe it?
I think they could have easily got to 300.
No, 280.
198 for 4, potentially 198 for 4 at 36.3 overs. You're definitely calling for 290.
Because I am saying you could have gotten to 280 considering the slow nature of the wicket. The wicket was not getting any better. That's what even Harbhajan Singh has said, that what the wicket will be, it will be in this whole match, like how it is going to go. You know who will be the key player, which is where I kind of disagree with the fact that maybe it could be Shubman. I think this is a perfect, if you want to set the tempo of the chase,
Sharma.
it has to be Rohit.
I think for me, it is going to be still Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah.
this could
Shreyas
be
in the middle.
if he plays a great knock here, I think this could be the match that defines his career.
But I hope that it doesn't come till Shreyas Iyer. Because to chase this total, you need somebody to accelerate up top. Because if it comes till Shreyas Iyer, I know he has the potential to take the match or take the team over the line. But then who will accelerate with him in the middle overs? Will it be Akshar? Will it be Hardik? Or then that's the only problem that I have with Shreyas Iyer being the key player. I think it's Rohit Sharma so that he can set that template up top and then the batters can take the match from there.
I think one of the factors, first of all, I think it's not like, I have any less confidence in a certain Rohit Sharma or Shubman Gill. The only problem that I feel that India would still have in this game, I think, is their number 3 and the most established batter of the side is Virat Kohli. And I'll tell you why. Despite Australia having those inexperienced spinners, I think they would still have the ability to trouble a certain Virat Kohli here. And it's not going to be, going to be down to them. It's going to be down to the brains that are going to assist him. And that's Steve Smith for that matter. Because Steve Smith had, time and again, he has proven to be astute and tactically very sharp. Virat Kohli has this weakness against spin. And to counter it, even if you have an inexperienced spinner and you have someone like a Steve Smith who possesses a great brain, for me, I think in this particular game, if there's a major threat, that is for India. As far as the men in blue are concerned, I think it is going to be Virat. And that's why I feel that with Rohit, we haven't really seen those big knocks for him in the ODI format in the last 7 to 8 odd innings, except that 100 that he got against England. His stay on the crease has been just around 20, 30, 40 odd balls. So for me, who can actually steer the ship and make sure that India can probably get over the line, for me it is Shreyas Iyer. Hands down, I think it has to be him.
Just talking about the spinners, just what I have 2 stats for you. The Australians attempted the slog sweep 9 times, and just 1 person was dismissed of it. You know how many boundaries they hit in all?
7. 6. Which is a great stat.
4 were 6. 4 were 6. And another stat that actually reiterates the fact that the spinners were left wanting because they were not able to set the right length, because 3 Head, Smith and Carey were using their feet so well. So full balls were 39 balls were full, 75 were good lengths, and 90 balls were short pitch deliveries. So this clearly means how erratic the lengths were for the Indian spinners, because they were not till now. As soon as the Australian batters would have gone in their shell or would not have used their feet, the Indian spinners would have sort of set their lines and lengths, and then it would have been very difficult for Australia. But I think they played spin terrifically. I think I was expecting South Africa to be the best players of spin against India in this tournament, but I think Australia gave an equal tough fight to the Indian team.
Yeah, but again, had Maxwell not had his vintage brain fade moments,
this total could have easily been 280,
290. Yeah, but Maxwell 6 and out.
Vishy, I want to know, had this total been 280 or 290, what would have been your prediction?
See, I would have then said that India's chances would be about 51-49.
You still gave India 51.
See, this is a semi-final.
If Australia would have gotten if India would have gotten to 280 or 290, I would have actually not given India more than 30-35%.
I'll tell you why. You've got a depth in your batting which you didn't have in even 2023.
You had plenty of depth in Border Gavaskar Trophy also, and I know that I'm mixing formats here.
You have mixed formats.
It did not really do anything.
I gave you an ODI example in 2023.
This is a discussion. We can have a longer discussion on this post-match, because I think the real stamp of, is it right or wrong to play so many batters
is in this match.
Yeah. This is the day when you would have decided to do this, when you would have actually needed this to deplete your bowling a little bit so that you can actually accommodate 8 batters. So today is going to be the real test at how well are you using your 8 batters.
You played 8-9 batters for this particular situation. Okay. So far, you have not been dismissed. You have not been bowled out in the Champions Trophy at all in all the games that you played in. Will this stand the test of time? Today you will find out. That is why I'm saying 8 batters. See, what number 8 offers is notional. Okay. What number 9 offers is notional. What 7 offers is notional. But at least 6, 7, you got proper batters who can wield a willow, who scored in excess of 4 digits in their international career when you look at their ODI numbers. So that is why it's not necessary that I will totally write India off, even if it's 280, 290.
Yeah.
looking at the game, just not looking at ultra patriotism or all those kinds of, just studying the game at this point in time. If you have 7 proper batters and one is coming at 8, you should chase a total down. It's only your inexperience and big game pressure which will ensure you slip up.
Okay.
That is the only way when you look at it. If you play a horrendous shot, then you will slip up at the end of the day. But I think this is a very 50-50 total. That is why making a judgment on this is not
right
so
now,
easy.
Because the pitch is playing really different to what we were expecting it to be. I just hope it doesn't deteriorate too much, because otherwise the same thing that happened on 19th November is going to happen now, but in reverse.
But do you expect it to get more slow? Like your general perception?
I think it
Which
will.
means it's not
will.
good news for India.
No, it isn't.
So far, no, but I think if you got a Shreyas Iyer, although Shreyas Iyer has surprisingly fallen to spin more often in his second coming.
Yeah, and despite scoring all those runs against short deliveries and all
although
that
in the
stuff.
previous game, when we were talking, he's playing the short ball well, he got a short ball and he topped it.
I think the wicket would have been absolutely dry. It would have gotten a good heavy roll in the morning before the game. So that's why, to begin with, the wicket was good to bat on. And also what we saw here was that the odd ball was stopping and the ball was turning. But now as the day has progressed, I think that hardness that would have been just one layer of it, I think that would have gone away by now, because 297 balls are bowled, not including the extras, would have been bowled. So by now the wicket would 100% gotten a much more slower, there would have been much more wear and tear.
See, is this a black soil wicket?
Yeah.
It's a black soil.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Okay, so we have seen, I know where you're coming from, November 19th, but at that time the Australians bowled with tremendous discipline.
No, don't you think that, it's pretty much similar to the wicket that we usually get to see in Nagpur? Nagpur, I think if I'm not wrong, it's usually
black soil. It is black soil in Nagpur. It is black soil in Indore.
Indore is I think it's not black soil.
I think it's black soil.
No.
Indore is a
soil.
mixture of red and...
Side, isn't it red?
No, only western
Nagpur
side
is black.
red.
Nagpur is
Western side is red. Mumbai is red. Pune is red.
The whole Maharashtra side isn't.
No. Vidarbha side isn't that red soil when you look at it. But see, in Indore you played a mixture of red and black, and you spectacularly imploded in Indore. Okay. But again, different format. Here, the black soil hasn't deteriorated much as we look at it. It has stayed the same throughout. But if it is like the game 1 and game 2 kind of a wicket, wherein it actually got better to bat on, then I think this total is very under par.
But we have seen that the wicket is deteriorating in each game till now.
It is slowing up.
Yeah, and also stopping bit more.
Plus, I think you didn't have the bowlers to exploit it.
So the soil, whatever type of soil there is, that is definitely, it does break down, it does slow up a bit. So the soil is, wicket is different, but the soil will obviously not be different. It will be the same. So I personally feel that the wicket is going to stop a bit. And more than the spinners, I'm even more scared about Nathan Ellis, because spinners, by the end of it, you might just be able to accelerate on the spinners in the later stages of the innings when the run rate creeps up, because over there the spinners don't have that much experience. But Nathan Ellis is somebody who's conditioned to bowl in such situations.
Yeah.
So I think he is a bigger threat than him, because he can really dry up those runs. And it's not even like that he's drying up the runs by bowling peach deliveries. He's just going to slow it up so much that it starts to get very frustrating with the batters.
See, the guy who's troubled Kohli the most in this Australian lineup is Adam Zampa. 5 wickets, 5 times I think he's gotten rid of Virat Kohli. And in these conditions, he'll be a wily operator. But I somehow think that the
21 T20 World Cup in Dubai, he was the highest wicket taker.
He was the highest. 23 also, he played such a vital support role to Hazelwood, Stark and Cummins. But I think the backup that Australia have, I think you're not going to maintain the pressure that much. If one bowler is bowling well, I don't see the other guy maintaining that pressure in tandem. And that is why...
That was the problem with India as well.
The only reason why I feel that, those bowlers like Cooper Conley, Tanveer Sangha, Maxwell, I think, in fact, the 2 new players here, Sangha and Cooper, I feel, they are going to maintain that pressure only because of one thing. I think they are unknown commodities for these Indian players, and that's, I think,
although see, Tanveer Sangha did play in that Rajkot ODI, and I think he bowled okay. Cooper Conley, again, he's an opening batter who can bowl. it can be a recipe for a spectacular failure.
No. He's usually not an opener today because the conditions was.
But normally he
situation
does
was-
open,
He's
Cooper
more of a
Connolly.
bowling all-rounder, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but then see, again, his bowling is unknown, but I don't know about the impact at this
He's
point.
a good bowler. I've seen him a couple of
BBL?
times. Yeah. And again with Tanveer Sangha, the problem is he's much more flatter, but he gives the ball a little more air.
There is Maxwell, there is Head, who will be called upon to bowl a lot in these conditions. So that's why it's a very 50-50 situation. But I still give 60-40 the advantage to India, primarily for the fact that I think Australia's bowling is very inexperienced. And with India's power-packed lineup, I don't know how they'll be able to stop them.
I would also give 65 India, 35 Australia.
Oh, so you've changed.
Yeah.
You've changed in that sense. So, yep, you're only going with 50 on 49. Still, you're going with 50 on 49 at this point. It won't be an easy chase. Let us make one thing clear here.
I think, by the way, things have really gone in the first innings.
Australia.
I feel that, Shashwat's predictions, I think it might just come true.
51-49 to India. But all three of us have picked India.
Yeah, but 49 is a...
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's going to be that close.
it will be a
I'm
close
just being
game.
optimistic, to be honest. It could be the other way around for me also.
No, but which was the team that you were supporting upstairs?
India?
No.
It's not about supporting. I really.
And then you say
I support
Gulati sir
cricket.
is exposing me.
No. I don't have a problem. It's not about supporting. I'm supporting India. But as a lover of cricket, I also like to watch cricket from a third person perspective.
No, I'm just joking. Obviously, he was supporting India. It's just
But I was
leg pulling.
appreciating Australia
It
much
was
more because they were
leg
batting
pulling, yeah.
really well. That's why.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
being diplomatically correct.
See, a sport runs better if there is proper appreciation across all platforms. That's the thing. You appreciate a good knock, you appreciate a good knock. Just don't say, oh, luck and all those kind of things, and you don't mention and wrap it around all the other PR stunts, which many Indian fans do at this point in time. So, yes, let's just see how it goes now, and that's why we'll take some comments before. I think the chase is going to start in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, let's take a couple of comments quickly.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's take some comments because it's not going to be an easy chase
Yeah.
when you look at it. And okay,
It's taking too long.
it's taking a bit too long. Yeah, net issues. Net issues are very common at this point in time. Yeah, Austin Kuna is like saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
Yeah.
hold, yeah.
India has never lost an ICC ODI match when Virat has top scored and when Iyer or Gill has scored 50 plus. VK was at least 2 dismissals in 4 balls. We don't know, every stat is meant to change. I'm just saying, every stat is meant to change. So that's why anything can happen.
Sachin Kashyap, he's worried about Tanveer Sangha, whose googlies are lethal. Okay.
Yeah.
Anshu Mishra, Gulati, how genius-minded Steve Smith played the worst shot in that situation. Had he carried on, Australia would have reached 290, even with the low order. Big mistake from Smith. Well, it does look like, and it might just, go on to impact Australia later in the match. Just hold on here. Just a couple of quick comments.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, Daniel M. I think he probably feels that Ellis is going to be an important player for Australia. And one last comment from Frickin' Awesome. Good comeback from India. It can be chased out, but not an easy one. Indian openers need to give a quick start like 50, 16, 10 overs because wickets will slow down and not easy to score
By
in the
way,
middle overs.
even if you give a big start, it's still not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, folks, for joining us. We'll be back now for the all-important post-match, a long, lengthier post-match debate. We'll find out.
Hopefully, it's a happy one.
It will be an happy one. I've given 60-40 to India. Let's see how that
that's
pans
why
out.
it will be a happy one. Nah?
I got the New Zealand one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back for the post-match. 10:30 or earlier. Let's see how it pans out. So from me, Gulati and Shashwat, that is bye-bye. Enjoy the chase and let's see if there is going to be celebrations by the end of the night.
And please subscribe to Sports Today if you
Subscribe,
haven't already.
Yep.